and then chasing if Energy Pacemaker do retreat. But it kind of needs this all-in at certain times.
I agree with the ban from EP there as well, banning out the Ancient Apparition, because as you said, there's a lot of single target, no real AoE, and they're spotting this again with their second ban here, or fifth ban I should say, on Disruptor. Just saying that you need something, right? You need something to lock down our PL, you need something more to control us. Yes, the Slark can kill off the Shaker or the Lina pretty well. I mean, if it's really farm, we can farm and kill off the Shadow Fiend maybe, but you need the full team fight. Because team fights are super important in this current patch.
Slark is often susceptible to that AoE damage as well, so there are chances here with, what is it, 3.5 seconds on his Shadow Dance. He doesn't have a long duration on that. Light Strike Array, Fissure, there's a couple of things there to actually lock him in place, so mobility going to be key. Slark's item progression nowadays, how do you see it going? Because it often used to be sort of stats Midas Shadowblade.
Yeah, people sort of skip Midas sometimes to go for the Shadowblade instantly now because of how the game is speeding up a lot. I can understand that as well, but Midas is still super good on him. He benefits a lot from levels.
And attack speed.
Attack speed is also okay, but I mean, you get it from Shadowblade either way, so it's really only a matter of do you want to get the levels even more, and do you delay your ganks, or do you want to go really early? They're gonna go for a Crystal Maiden here to add their AoE damage and control. The Mana Regen is also very nice for the Slark in particular. It works pretty well for Clockwork, but CM is a good draft here. I still like EP's draft slightly more, simply because of what you kind of, mentioned there briefly, is the AoE stunts into a Slark is super good. Being able to control him even when he's in his ulti.
How about a Magnus here for EP? Darkseer was banned out by Old Boys. You give that Empower over to PL. His base stats are great on that agility. Give him all that extra attack damage. RP into like Requiem and PL running at you.
It could work pretty well, yeah. There are some downsides as to how safely you can lane your Magnus in this game.
Against Rubik CM,
yeah, and Slark as well. It's not the easiest.
Oh, you can't skew out of pounce.
You can't skew out of pounce. True. So that's pretty terrifying. And you would be a good target for him to go on when he has a Shadow Blade. But, and sometimes it may...
"30 seconds to battle."
Checking the bottom rune. Of course, we have you in the game now. And no lag, it seems. No Kalle.
No, looks good. But yeah, pretty standard. 5-man top, 5-man bot, Dire guarding bot rune, Radiant guarding top. And it often comes down to, this spot here for Radiant, the high ground where you've got that sort of omnipotent vision. And then Dire side can loop around really nicely to this spot here.
At what Dire have done though, they walked down and they placed a lot of wards to block off. And they even have a little bit of mind game going on here, because they blocked both the small camp and the big camp, making you think that is the magic bush. They kind of should have placed that observer ward in a different spot, but they really want the vision, I suppose. Because if you bait the magic bush, you want to have your observer ward in a place where it doesn't get dewarded by magic bush, and you have a lot of options there. But still, very good warding, and gonna mess a lot with the Radiant jungle. Of course, Crystal Maiden not gonna be happy about that.
Yeah, definitely. So, up on top lane, DD on the off lane Clockwork. Who's he heading up against? Fans, Phantom Lancer. Over on the side, LT is Lina. Middle lane, Old Chicken's Shadow Fiend against Zhou. Playing the Viper here. Behind him is Le with the Earthshaker. Fisher's already flying out. Along DD is that Crystal Maiden, farming up the jungle for now. Clarity cancelled out. but he's got another couple ready to go. 820 on the Rubik, so they have switched up roles, and this is one of the things that we were looking at coming into this, wondering what Old Boys does, but YYF is on the safe lane Slark, and then he's up against Small 2 Lightning, playing the Spirit Breaker.
Small 2 Thunder.
Thunder, sorry, I keep saying Lightning. Small 2 Thunder.
Actually, Lumi told me first that it was Lightning, and then it was like, no, it's Thunder, I think.
Lightning comes first, Thunder after.
Lumi's Chinese is impeccable. It's great. It's good to have him
feeling
around.
the fiery wrath of Lena, that long-range attack, just sort of zoning him out, but he's got the lane where he wants it for now. Equilibrium should meet pretty nicely. He's got the double range. Can this Lena pull across, though? That's going to be great for them, resetting the lane, pushing it back to their own tier 1. Yeah,
pretty good, but Clockwork is still in good range here to just keep messing with them, and they only get 1 creep after all. So Clockwork is pretty happy on this lane, even though he doesn't have, more than 1 CS. He's still being very close and relevant to the creep. Bottom lane, more harass being dealt to Spirit Breaker here.
Yeah, I'm also looking towards mid. Viper taking a bit of a beating here with a Fisher and double raises from Old Chicken. So he's got that Earthshaker behind. They've got enough magical damage to lock down and kind of nuke this Viper out of harass range.
Yeah, very even so far on the mid lane, but it is a lane where you have to win it early as Shadow Fiend, so that's why we see the charge come in here. And they do charge Viper, stun him as well. They might kill him. Oh, they get him?
Yeah, they get him with the raise.
Wow, the Fisher range is just so important, and that just shows you, like, offlane Spirit Breaker, yes, you might be able to keep him down from levels and so on, but he's still going to be relevant. He just does 1 charge, and anyone else helping as well, and that's an easy gank.
Can they really not see the sentry, or have they not tried? Because that looks like it's in range to me.
I believe that they can't, no. It's not in range. Like, it depends which angle you have your camera in, because if you look from below, it's going to look like it's not in range. If you look from above, it looks like it is.
It's wonky.
But I believe it's just perfectly outside. If you put your camera right over the center ward that you're looking at, yeah, exactly. No, the other one.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, then you will see if it's inside or not, and you see it's slightly outside.
True. Oh, well.
Oh. That was very close, though.
Perfectly placed ward. So YYF leading last hit, 16 for 4, Phantom Lancer 13 for 4, and that's kind of, accountable down to that little mess up with lane pushing in, but...
Yeah. Just farm trade on the carries, but of course EP already got that 1 kill onto mid lane, so their Shadow Fiend is going to be really happy now. He also got a chance to take the DD rune with that, so good control from them. The trade-off, of course, is that Old Boys are playing more greedy. They have been farming with their Crystal Maiden, going for a jungling a lot. Gonna smoke up now, along with Clockwork. Really good timing for Clockwork. Look at his top lane. Top lane is shoved, so it's hard for Dire to know about this. But look at Shaker.
Look at Shaker, yeah, up on the high ground. They know he's there, Fisher. Gonna catch DD, and it also blocks him off on this side.
Yeah.
Walking back around towards the middle lane.
Yeah, that was really good positioning, and he knows all he needs to do in the early game is just secure the Shadow Fiend. He doesn't care if he's level 1 or if he gets levels on the Shaker. Doesn't matter at all. All he wants to do is make sure that Old Chicken can farm and get fat. That's what they need.
That is all they need. So he's got his boots coming out to him. May 24th, 2014 on Team IG.
Just yesterday. Yeah. That's, that's Old Boys for you. It's pretty hard to know what they have been doing recently in scrims and so on, of course. Yeah. I haven't had the privilege of seeing the Chinese scrims.
You really do have to look back at the sort of historic data of their old teams, LGD, IG and things like that, to see their popular heroes. When we had the popular heroes come up, you see YYF with Darkseer and all these off lanes, but now playing Slark.
Yeah.
Heads into the treads, nothing too surprising there.
He always was a very versatile player, though. Like, he played mid at some point as well. And
his Invoker.
Yeah. His Invoker is really strong. He played offlane Invoker quite a bit as well, Quastwex. Look at Small 2 Thunder just walking out and giving the business to Rubik, taking one of his creeps and running off. It's like, yeah, I don't care about you.
How big was this stacked up over here, the large camp, do you know?
I did not actually check. I don't know if the...
He's got a decent amount of money.
I don't think it was stacked, but it could have been.
Yeah, he's not jumped up in last hits too much.
Because I think the Shaker was mostly just sitting and camping mid. He was not actually running away that much. Which is why he spotted out the smoke, of course, as well.
Well, Shadow Fiend is sitting at 2,700 net worth. He can finish up treads now, which he will do so, and send them out to himself.
Yeah.
No Ring of Bassi. Well, no Aquila just yet either.
I think it's better to start with the treads, because you get more value out of it. In terms of tread switching, you get the mana that Aquila would give you anyway, and the attack speed just makes you so much stronger for any man-fighting scenario. And of course, the HP is a little bit more worth than the armor that you're gonna get, because early on, so much of the damage is spell damage anyway.
Long DD. Crystal Maiden sitting mid, going to leech a bit of experience towards this lane while they go and guard top rune for Zhou, who has only just managed to pick up his brown boots. So Ring of Aquila for him, pretty standard for the poison attack spam out there. Oh.
Yeah.
Spirit Breaker, who are you looking for?
Let's get a nice rune on the Viper. Found a little bit of a haste rune there. Spirit Breaker is looking for everyone, dude.
Yeah, if he had found that Rubik up on high ground, he just runs at him and starts hitting.
Yeah, we saw in the last game that we were testing, we saw builds where Charge of Darkness was maxed, similar to this game, but not a single point in an Empowering Haste. He was like 3, 0, and 2. This is very different to European. European Spirit Breakers will just put 1 point in charge, never more than that.
That's kind of how it was for a while in China as well. They started off with like max charge, then they went for like a 1-1-1 and then a max bash.
Yeah.
And it comes down to like sort of player preference a little bit.
Yeah, they're kind of back to the max charge now, though, it seems, with the recent game. Yeah, it gives you a lot. However, it should be mentioned that the charge speed does not increase the damage on your bash. So, like, the fact that you're moving faster in the charge does not increase the bashing damage.
That would be ridiculous.
It's just based on your movement speed. Yeah, it's just gimmicky mechanics on this hero.
Well, the Dire are getting quite a bit of value over on their support. Earthshaker, okay, he's kind of been the martyr of this game. Level 2, almost hitting level 3. Hasn't got anything in the way of items, but having a Lina who's getting pretty quickly towards level 6. That's a massive deal there, because Fissure into Light Striker and Laguna Blade onto pretty much any hero from Old Boys evaporates them. Viper probably going to be the one that can sustain through it, but Slark, until he has, Ring of Aquila, I don't know if you want to go drums. That item has fallen out of favor quite a lot in the recent packs. They're actually going to go up on this bot lane.
Just barely missed the pounce. That was really close. But yeah, as you said, getting the levels early on Lina is much more favorable than getting it on Shaker. You don't really need levels on Shaker for him to be useful. And he can always recover. All he needs to be is like relevant in a few kills, and he's going to have his levels back anyway. So this way, much safer to play.
Treads on Breaker. Attack speed and strength, what more could you want? He's also hit level 6, so this is pretty much key pivotal moment for the Spirit Breaker.
Look at his HP. Even if they got the pounce on him at any point, he has all the regen in the world remaining. He has 3 tangles and salve.
And a charge.
Yeah, exactly. And he can just charge away. So he's never going to die, and he can easily regen up. He's going to hold the rune here for Old Chicken. Gonna get that one.
What's the plan for Crystal Maiden this game? Because she hasn't really gone onto lane. She's holding a smoke, been farming the jungle, and again, she's in the same boat as Lina. Level 5, heading into level 6 quickly, but she hasn't made a massive impact this game, and with only 1 point in that that mana aura, she's gone for 3 in Crystal Nova, which kind of implies she wants to play aggressively.
Yeah, well, I think maxing Nova is pretty normal. I think if you max aura, you go too much for it, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't think it has that big of an impact, as opposed to having the extra levels on Nova, especially with the new change to it, so that it works differently in terms of slow. You need to get it up to max level so you get that 50% slow for 4.5 seconds. It's really big. But I think he has been doing pretty much what you would expect him to do. He tried one smoke gang, it didn't work. That's pretty much what I think about as well when I talk to someone about jungling Crystal Maiden. You should be extremely greedy, like even more greedy than he's playing now probably. He's trying to protect mid a little bit for his Spirit Breaker ganks and so on, I understand that. But you can be ultra greedy, and then when you go for a gank, commit to that one gank and try to make it work. And the enemy's going to be scared that you do it again. But
what kind of itemization? Because we've kind of come to this realization that Midas is sort of an item that's archaic and in the past for the majority of heroes. Do you go for straight up Glimmer Cape? Get your ulti early on at like level 6?
I think so. If you go ultra greedy, you can go for either Glimmer Cape Rush or just go for something like Blink Dagger first and then go into a BKB straight up. Because if you get Blink Dagger and BKB on your Crystal Maiden, you're so relevant in every single fight. Granted, in this game, there is a Spirit Breaker and he can still disable you through it. And you can still get burst down pretty easily. But it's just, a matter of looking from game to game basis.
Oh, what's the reaction going to be to this? Energy Pacemaker is smoked up as 3. Spirit Breaker wanted to go to bot lane, but it looks like they'll opt
they
up.
get a
They're going to
perfect
walk
target.
into Slark. He pounces over the cliffs, though.
Yeah.
He felt it coming.
No, he saw them.
Oh,
the smoke broke as they walked close, and they have a ward there. So at least EP will know that they have a ward there, but it's about the timeout, so no one cares. But very good by YYF to pay attention there. And he seems to be farming up. He has the Aquila and the Treads and the Magic Wand. This is standard. Now is the choice, will he go into the Midas on top of this? Which is not something you can blame him for. Or if he wants to go in for a Shadow Blade. But I think it's going to be Shadow Blade.
Yeah, because you look at the sort of timing threshold of Fan, he's going to be farming
Yes.
jungle, he's going to be... he's got the Ring of Aquila, so no real Vlads on the way, but as soon as he buys a Quelling Blade, his farm rate increases massively. Then Yasha, Diffusal Blade, something along those lines. Not quite sure which route he's going to go for. But if you can easily out-farm the Slug as a PL.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, you speed through the jungle so quickly, and you can pick up... As soon as you pick up any of the relevant items, like if you get Diffusal and Manta Style, or just one of them, you're gonna be so strong already. And I like to see the fact that they put multiple points into Doppelganger. A lot of players are holding back and just putting 1 point into it. I think that's like completely wrong. Because you reduce the cooldown from 25 to 10.
That's a big difference.
Yeah, and 10-second cooldown on something like that. Oh, mid.
Oh yeah, I'm watching this show. The Fisher to start things off. They got Light Striker ready to follow, but he's tanky as all hell.
does have
Laguna
the mech.
Blade doesn't take him down. The Requiem now going to slow them. Long DD caught, but a good hook shot from DD. Traps Old Chicken in the cogs. Zhou trying to do as much damage as he can. DD though going to take the brunt of this force as Old Chicken stands and fights. Mech now available,
God.
and Zhou's charged up. He's under the tower. PL takes him down, and this is looking like an absolute rout. EP taking one by one, and one away have pounces, but strikes 5
They're all dead, dude!
They are all dead under their tier 1. 12 minutes in, and EP wipes them off the face of the map.
Wow, that was so brutal. Old Boys tried to commit into that, and they really went hard. Like, Rubik was diving, the Clockwork jumps in, but they didn't get high value out of the mech, and EP were just there before. Like, PL was already there from the beginning of the fight, and they were just ready to dish out the damage. And Lina, high level, makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Just throwing that ulti and bursting Viper so quickly.
Because the fact that Viper wants to be on the outskirts of the fight, looking for that harass and zoning and making sure he can do as much damage over time.
More importantly, he wanted to wait a little so he can get the mech on more than just himself. He had to pop the mech for just surviving on his own and then trying to run out, and then his team commits. That's never going to be a good fight.
And then Shadowfiend has the mech, and the rest of his team is like, yeah, what up?
And
we can dive the town, no problem whatsoever.
And this early on, like, it's much easier for PL to join a fight and be useful than it is for Slark. Even though Slark is pretty good at fighting one-on-one, in a team fight, PL is not gonna die. He's tanky enough that he can survive, and he deals the damage very safely with his Spirit Land spam. So, just a good take there by EP, and that's massive. Look at the strength on Spirit Breaker now. He's in a great spot after that. Spirit Breaker up to 1500 HP.
Oh dear, I've got base skips, keybinds.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Don't question it.
I can't
So,
find the gold craft bind. I'm gonna have to press it up in the top right.
Yeah, that's great.
I'll
We do
ask him
see
after this game.
that was a dive right there.
Yeah, from basically even. There was almost nothing in it, about 900 or something along those lines. All of a sudden, 5,000 net worth lead over the way of Energy Pacemaker.
This is gonna be such a test now to how disciplined and how well Old Boys can play under pressure, because they took a terrible, terrible fight.
Well, now tier 1's being pressured here. Long DD starts things off with a Nova, but Doppelganger out Fisher to stop the advance. And, you know, Old Boys, I was saying how great their chasing potential is, but it's kind of only if they catch that hook shot initially. They need that one catch, so EP have a choice of let the hero die, turn and fight, run away, and that's where Old Boys can capitalize.
Yeah.
Make the most out of any mistakes or stragglers that EP has.
That's true. I think EP right now should just be happy and sit back a little bit so that they can complete the BKB on Spirit Breaker and on Shadow Fiend. When they have these two items, I think that's when they really want to start turning up the heat again. Sure, they got one really good fight, but right now Old Boys are desperate to get something. And you can tell, like, no one is pushing mids. You don't have pressure on bottom tower.
Oh,
There is a gank in there.
Choke point jungling from Spirit Breaker right now. They're gonna walk into him.
Is he gonna charge away?
Nova. Can't charge just yet. Hook shot, cogs. It looks like he's gonna die before he
That's
can
a
cast
kill.
the spell. That is one on the board. Buyback from Spirit Breaker. They want to turn this straight away because Old Chicken's coming in. Light Striker rate onto 820. They start things off with a stun and nuke. Laguna Blade takes out the Rubik. So 1 for 1. The buyback from Spirit Breaker
That's
not going to
really
accomplish
good.
anything.
That's really good for Old Boys. They had Slark farming meanwhile. They forced a buyback and they traded a support for an offlaner. So that was great by Old Boys.
Spirit Breaker lost 500 gold from that.
Yeah. Well, I think he lost some more gold considering the buyback as well. It's just the graph doesn't really show it properly.
Okay.
Or did he actually? I think he had like a little bit over 1,000 gold when he was farming those creeps. So he lost like 600 or 700.
Well, Shadow Blade is going to be the item for the Slark. He's got that amulet over in the courier. How far is he? Yeah, he's basically got it.
Yeah.
So you can have that Shadow Blade right now, pretty much.
Yeah, he will.
YYF, you've got to know there's vision here. He's running around thinking,
Yeah,
okay,
he's trying to find
can see
exactly
me.
where,
Yeah, there
and
we go.
then
Perfect.
One of the benefits of having a Slark in your team, you can really pinpoint the enemy wards and get rid of them easily. It's very good for any support in his team. Crystal Maiden so far just going for the Tranquil Boots, yet to pick up any item. I think you can get away with being much more greedy. Like, at this point, he's only been part of one kill anyway. If he played more selfishly, I think he could have a bigger impact now. But he tried to protect his mids a lot against the Spirit Breaker, and that's very understandable.
Full staff here for the Lina. Against the Clockwork, perfectly acceptable. You know, you don't go for the Yule Scepter or anything like that, because you're still going to be trapped in those cogs. So Force to save teammates, it's much more of a utility item. It's, you know, multi-dimensional. It's not one-dimensional like that Yule Scepter, really.
Still has a way to go, though. He needs to complete the full thing, but it's going to be very good against Clockwork mainly, because Lina is one of the pretty ideal targets to jump on. Lina or Earthshaker to just hook them.
Who does YYF find? He walks past the sentry and Fan knows he's there. Oh,
And he doesn't
YYF
reveal it.
charged.
But, I mean, he knows because the movement speed disappeared. So YYF is just gonna back off a little bit, and he knows they see him now. And they see him still. He's like, what's going on, yo? I can't get any speed.
But does he think he's still charged now?
Yeah, he could think that he's charged,
Because
so they
this
might not
observer
deward.
ward.
Yeah, they might not deward that ward because of it.
They smoke themselves up over in the trees. YYF moving himself forward. Pings out here from Energy Pacemaker.
They
and
might
now
get
he
this
knows
pick
there's
with
a
the
ward
smoke.
there.
Yeah, they might get this pick with the smoke now. Can just run up with Crystal Maiden and Viper. Oh, CM should run
Hook
first.
shot? No!
Oh, wow.
Off the mark from a DD.
That's a lot of time invested in not getting a support kill.
And that's a minute without hookshot. Your main ability to get into these team fights and actually find the pickoffs that they desperately need. Okay, they'll get a tower here. YYF will try and take the last hit on
Still
this.
just a sack from EP because they know they're very disciplined about the fact that they need the BKBs before they take too many fights. They're respecting that Old Boys is not weak in this situation. So just waiting, and they have like 150 gold remaining on Shadow Fiend until he has it, and he's just been farming the enemy jungle. So they're in a great spot in terms of splitting the enemy and farming.
And then you've got drums on the PL after the Ring of Aquila, which is a build that we've seen sort of ZSMJ and a few Chinese players go. It's skipped quite often.
Drums are better now.
Yeah.
Like with the extra attack speed, they're actually not bad again. I talked to Drasko about it. He's, you know, delighted that his favorite bongos are buffed again.
It's skipped quite often in Europe. It's sort of a forgotten item, like, oh, it's too expensive, and the recipe, you know, doesn't really give us what we need with these drums, but it's still a nice build-up. Gives you stats, gives you mana, I think, which you desperately need on a PL.
I think it was reasonably skipped though, because it's only recently they added the 10 attack speed again, and that's kind of what makes it worth it. So I think it's coming back, but it was a bad item for a very long time. Now it's kind of decent. And top, they're kind of trying for more picks here, but as I said, Slark can't really kill the PL here, even if he finds him on his own. The only one he can really kill on his own is like Lina. I don't even think he kills the Shaker before he TPs out. Bottom lane being defended here by Crystal Maiden and her team. Yeah, average BKB timings. Old Chicken's timing is a little bit ahead there, so very good. He does have a nice game going for him. Of course, they did get the kill onto his opponent on the lane. That can always propel your farm slightly, put you in a really good spot.
Phantom Lancer has a Diffusal Blade, 90 minutes in on top of all of his stats items, so not only is he hard to kill with 13
he deals
HP on
damage.
strength shreds, but yeah, he's going to crush people.
Yeah, I mean, he's terrifying. As I said, he will actually decimate the Viper if he puts his illusions on him, because Viper needs plenty of mana. He needs mana to use his ulti, to orb walk people, and then the mech, of course, as well, which is 225.
Yeah, half of your mana goes to the mech, like straight up pretty much. So Joe's got to keep that in mind.
He
then
has
Strike
to
takes another quarter.
Exactly, so if you send the illusions early onto the Viper, maybe you can mess up the mech, and mech is huge in team fights, so it could be worth trying. Otherwise, though, just send your illusions on a Crystal Maiden or a Rubik, and you're gonna get kills straight away.
YYF forced to pop his ulti to escape from that PL, but they know about the Diffusal now. They're going to be very, very wary of that. Bot tier 1 on 156 HP, and it's going to be time to group up for EP. That's the
They're
the
gonna
last
go
tier
with that.
standing.
EP, they recognize that without ulti on Slark right now, they can take this bottom tower. Oh, bottom! Look, nice bait here by
Straight in, YYF, the hookshot across. He's going to get taken down by the Echo Slam and Laguna Blade. Focused down. and taken out. The cogs trap them in, but what's happening in the back end of the fight? Because Long DD gets his ultimate off. Fan just walks up and rips him a new one. Old Chicken with the Requiem out, and again, they lose the Spirit Breaker, but a whole bunch of deaths on the side of Old Boys, and Fan just never stops going.
Oh, that's a dieback from Slark now. He bought back into this fight and died immediately. PL is just so strong, he doesn't care about anything. Even if they try to kill him, he can just doppelganger and be completely fine. That's the second time that Old Boys get completely schooled. 5 deaths for an offlane is all they get.
Yeah, Joe escapes, but 820 getting trapped by another good fisher there. And this right here is the gem pickup from Lina is indicative of how aggressive and how in control EP feel. They can close this game out if they get rid of all of the wards from Old Boys. They're going to have no chances to catch them out. There's none of this vision controlling their own jungle, which, you know, Slark and Viper, they need somewhere to farm.
This is the blessing from Gaben. Look at this. They find the DD rune. This is like, here, take this, and, you know, whenever you want to, just take Roshan. This is, yeah, my blessing.
What would you be scared of here? Hookshot coming off cooldown?
As EP, I would be scared of taking a fight now, right after you have used so much of your resources, but you can just go back, reset a little bit, wait, and go again when you have items. Oh, he's going into the Sans Yasha or the Manta on SF.
Okay.
I was hoping he would go Butterfly here. I think it's the much better choice, but Yasha is a little bit better right now. But if he got to the full Butterfly, he would be an unstoppable force when he reached that point. And I think for now, they're fine anyway, but...
Well, what does Manta do for you? Like, that's Sans Yasha has been a popular build after the mech BKB for a lot of Shadow Fiends. Tanks you up, gives you attack speed, farm faster, and all of this. What would the Manta style do for you here? Get out of Frostbite?
Yeah, that's basically it. You get out of Frostbite and you can mess a little bit more. You can like proc the cog with your illusions. You can do a lot of different things. Shear the battery. Yeah, disjoint that.
Joe, see ya, buddy. Chain stunned into oblivion.
Oh, the charge as well. They keep going here.
That's a good steal, but he's already used it. Long DD, another strike cancelled out by telekinesis, but this guy, Small Tooth Thunder, still gets it off. 3-man hook shot, 2 trapped in cogs, but Old Chicken standing there. BKB pop first and DD second as he launches the Requiem. Does it slow down way up though? They can't really chase him down. They'll be happy just to take this tier 2.
That's too late.
Where's Fan? Fan's behind tier 3.
Oh, he's a peel. He's fine. He can go wherever he wants. Man, they go in, like they commit after they actually already died. It doesn't look like Old Boys are in sync on what needs to be done and when. Look at EP and how, you know, dynamic of a force they are. They just go in together.
They spread thin when they need to, then they group up when they need to.
Yeah.
Every single move is cohesive and well prepared.
No, they're just on the same page on initiations, and they're the ones really taking the fights, whereas Old Boys are just being exposed to the fights. They have to kind of react to them, but they're not reacting in the perfect way.
There's the Roshan. Fan and Old Chicken, they've got enough damage between them with presence of the Dark Lord. I think scouted out by the rocket.
I think it's a good choice to just back here. Yeah. There's no point risking Roshan, because there's some great Roshan fighters on the side of Old Boys. Of course, they have good Rosh fights themselves, but like, Clockwork, Revealing, then you have the Crystal Maiden ulti, which can be devastating in that scenario.
Like, imagine pushing 1 or 2 heroes up onto the cliff with cogs or something like that. Hookshot into
You can always get your Aegis snatched when you're against a Clockwork as well. It's just... I think it's one of the few ways they can lose this game. Like, they're 16-2 right now. This is an amazing lead, and all they need to do is play standard game, and they should be fine. So Old Boys need to pull something miraculous to turn this around. But look at Spirit Breaker, he's just baiting.
Hook shot onto Spirit Breaker, trapped in the cogs, but forced out. There's the Lina's item coming into play. Joe, that PL, he does not stand a chance against him. And Long DD, freezing field, slows them down, but not doing enough damage.
Doesn't really matter though. But
Light Strike Array to hold them in place. And does the chase continue? It does. Rubik's dead. DD not stunned up the charge, not in time. Fisher does get launched out, but Haven's going in. This is like self-destructive mode, but he does have his Shadow Dance for now. Pounce over the trees. Lance gonna hit a creep. That was a nice attempt by Fan just to get that Lance out there. He's still
Fan is pretty fast. He's like, I want you.
The charge is gonna
Oh god, that was close.
That was tight.
That was very close to being caught out. Man, they can't keep going on Spirit Breaker. They have to understand that he's a bait. Right now it's just 5-man Dota. Like every single game in this patch, after the laning stage is complete, there's 5-man Dota going on. And if there's a Spirit Breaker farming very close to his own tower, there are people behind him. You cannot go on the Spirit Breaker. He's too tanky. You have to find the ES or the Lina, or you're not going to win the fight.
Well, that's the second time now old boys have walked from their own jungle into this area here, where there are like 3 or 4 avenues into Fog that Energy Pacemaker are really abusing.
Yeah.
They've got now 2 heroes moving this way, 2 heroes moving that way, and then 1 hero moving down the actual lane.
I mean, Long DD got an amazing ulti off, but that's mainly because EP didn't even care. They just kind of walked back into the Crystal Maiden ulti because they're like, yeah, you're all alone. We know you're the only thing.
Oh, Crystal
still
Maiden, how
Yeah.
kind of you.
They even go for Sanjiasha here on their PL, not going for the Manta style, just realizing I need to just not die and be strong. I don't care about split pushing, it's just fighting, right? So that's a fine item. Allows him to chase a little bit more as well. If he had the Sanjiasha, he would have killed the Slark there.
Yeah,
You know?
that's true.
It's actually would have killed.
Dire's middle tower is
Well,
under attack.
Earthshaker, about 210 gold away from his Blink Dagger right now. That's going to be a pretty massive deal, and YYF has been scouted out. The charge onto him. How did Lun know? He's got a gem. Of course he does. Of course he's got a gem. YYF going to pounce across this cliff. Sharpish TP out as well. Doesn't get away this time. This time the charge connects and Fan, godlike streak.
YYF is just being shut down hard in this game, dude. Like, he bought back and died once. He hasn't been in a single kill as a Slark. It's just really tough times, especially when you don't go for the Midas and you still can't find anything that will die to you. But a lot of it goes down to heroes. Like, you cannot really solo kill a Spirit Breaker. You cannot solo kill a PL. You can maybe solo kill a Shaker. You can kill Lina for sure.
Yeah.
And like in the best of worlds where you are farmed and the SF is not, you can kill him. But
Fan has gone in.
yeah, he's just gone.
820 is dead.
Yeah, that's 4v.
Small
You know.
Thunder just pops his BKB, Frostbite, screw you, Crystal Maiden, I don't want to deal with this. Hook shot misses, GG is called.
GG's called. They recognize the after racks here. There's no real good comeback because they don't even have the late game. Like EP have way better late game, and they're crushing them.
Celebration Echo Slam there, but that's it guys. Game number 1 of this 2-game series. It goes the way of Energy Pacemaker, and you've got to say, that was convincing as all hell.
Yeah, it definitely was. I mean, this is the 3rd game that I'm casting today, and it's just been really big stomps every single game, honestly. So we'll see what the next game